And to Washington now, where the House of Representatives has essentially been brought to a standstill after yesterday's historic vote to oust now former Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
All right, Fox 5's Chris Welch joins us now live in studio. And Chris, until a new speaker is elected, the House really can't do much of anything.
No, they really can't. In fact, one Republican member of the House today said they had a whole schedule of work to get done by the end of this month. Now that schedule is entirely tossed out the window as the arduous process of selecting a new speaker begins.
I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance.
It's a move that has no precedent in American history.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
8 Republicans, led by right-wing conservative Matt Gaetz, bolstered by votes from a unified Democratic Party, have removed Kevin McCarthy from his position. The House of Representatives is now essentially paralyzed.
Right now, there's no ability to do anything on the House floor.
By ousting McCarthy, those 8 Republicans have created a puzzle that right now no one is able to solve. If not McCarthy, then who? North Carolina Rep. Patrick McHenry will serve as a temporary speaker, but in terms of who wants the job permanently, so far 2 names are official. Ohio conservative and head of the Judiciary Committee Jim Jordan and Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Oklahoma Republican Kevin Hern says he's considering.
I'm going around talking about, this issue with other groups of people and see if their votes are there.
Whoever it is may have to wrestle with reforming the motion to vacate, the rule that led to McCarthy's ousting.
I think that the one-person motion to vacate, I actually frankly think it's a little bit insane.
The top Republican in the Senate saying just as much.
To do that job for anyone, you have to get rid of the motion to vacate because it puts whoever the speaker is in a hammerlock of dysfunction.
And more dysfunction is the last thing Congress needs, especially as the clock to another government shutdown runs out in just 40 days.
We have a lot of work to do, and the American people expect us to get it done. We cannot and should not, again, be faced with an 11th hour decision.
Now, the earliest they could vote on a new speaker is sometime next week. They need to get 218 votes. The person who nominates themselves needs to get 218 votes in order to be confirmed. The person with the most confirmed votes right now, New York Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, and yes, his caucus will be nominating him.
Steve. Interesting. All right, thanks, Chris.